This is your weekend market review for Friday, June 23rd, 2023. Let's go.
Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well.
This is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent, and this is your weekend market review for Friday, June 23rd, 2023. The week played out pretty much like we thought it would be. I tried to warn people going into the end of the quarter, end of the month, post-OPEX expiration, that the market was probably going to start pulling back. Is this the ultimate top? It's potentially there. I'm just warning people. If you look at the evidence, you watch all of the film, watch the whole video, you'll see how things do look like they are changing. But ultimately, remember, timing is difficult. When does the dam open, dam break? Who knows? Do we need a retest? Do we chop into the end of the month? My guess is there'll be more profit taking sometimes next week. Then there'll be a bounce maybe into next week or at the end of next week or into next week. It's not going to be pure chaos, in my opinion, just yet. The VIX is pretty low. If you're new to the channel, want to join the Discord room, a link in the description below. I appreciate everybody's love, support, and generous donations. Again, if you're following on Twitter, we post what we think is important. Trading Agent. Keep an eye on it. Twitter, I like to post links and charts that I think are pretty important. So again, I'd throw a follow on there. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you're watching this video and you appreciate it, yeah, please do. And again, if you hit the subscribe button, do live reviews once, twice, 3 times a week during the market hours, after hours, just to kind of answer questions live. That's a good reason to subscribe. If you're newer to the channel, please check out thetradingagent.com. I say this every time. It's full of good insights. If you're newer, the Back to Basics series, the videos start from beginner to more advanced as you get down. And also, too, if you're looking to take money out of banks that seem risky, because this will be a banking crisis and you want to be FDIC insured, I would look to move some money to Marcus. Right now, they're doing 5.15%. If you have questions, hit me up for details. It's well worth it. All right, Fed Fund Futures for the July meeting. Expecting a rate hike. Do you believe it? That's almost 30 days away. No clue what's going to happen. Just keep in mind, I would watch this, save this link. Bitcoin. Trying to break out or a fake out? Good question. We talked about it being bullish on this move up. Had some legs. We said watch what happens when you get into the 30,000 range. Nothing's changed in my opinion. Again, bullish, bearish, whatever. Stay neutral here. If it breaks out, great. If it doesn't, it's not. My biggest worry, again, like gold, silver, commodities, all this stuff, is that when the liquidity is being pulled out of the market, banks start, deposits are being pulled, banks, credits tightening, everything is going to get flushed with it at some point. Right now, that's, again, timing, who knows? But if history repeats, the best time to buy this stuff will be when the Feds pivot. We're not there yet. Same thing with oil. Again, we think it's in a choppy range. Natural gas. Yada, yada, yada. I mean, it's a broken record, but I want people to remind this. Like, just remember this. Like, we could be in these choppy, sloppy, tight ranges, and define tight is up to you, but range bound for a while for a lot of places and a lot of things. The dollar, we've talked about. Watch the 150-day cross. Seems to be holding above it. I think the dollar will probably go higher, but again, my most important thing that I try to reiterate with people over and over and over, it's the volatility in the dollar that matters the most, okay? Especially with the bonds too, because both bonds and the dollar trading in ranges, right? Big trading ranges. All right, go with. If it drops, I think there might be a trap and then we rise. And if we go higher, I think it will break out pretty cleanly. I don't know. I don't expect rates to go much lower. Much higher based on everything that's happening, but there could be a fake out and there could be some credit issues that pop up quickly. The VIX, as we talked about, getting to ridiculous prices. Everyone's saying the VIX is broken, and I'm telling you right now, if you believe the VIX is broken, then you are literally being fed the crap that will lose you money. Because again, the market makers are in cahoots with the news and the mass media, and they want people to believe things are this before they pull the rug out. Or at the highs, they want you to believe that the world is going to end. I don't think the bear market is over by any means, because we never even spiked above 48. Bear markets typically go crazy with VIX at the capitulation. Everybody hates stocks. Do you think everybody hates stocks? VIX, we've talked about it basing and holding up. The VIX is saying something. The VIX is down here. The VIX is saying, something's coming. SPY, we talked about the professional gap down early in the week leading to downward pricing. Here it comes. Now, again, the question you have to ask yourself going into next week, the following weeks, Do we chop around before we fail? We have a first of month retest, or is it just going to blow out? Because again, these moves are pretty strong, and so they can be subject to many different interpretations. Like the Qs, for example, to me, they're probably not going to retest because a lot of these names went parabolic. And once they top and insiders have started to sell, hedge funds, institutions are unloading, remember, there's no one left to buy. Retail can't hold this stuff up. IWM, same kind of thing. It's been lagging. We talked about IWM should be over 199, 200 if the market's really strong. IWM leads. Look what it's starting to do. Making lower highs. You could argue this is a left shoulder, right shoulder, head and shoulders top. Adios, amigos. DIA, Dow, right? Been lagging. You would think the Dow would be breaking out like all these other indexes. Not so much. Gold. Again, Sam, if you were listening, for the love of God, what is the best time to buy gold? When the Feds pivot. Now, again, we don't know for sure if it's going to get absolutely smashed, but when you think and project with the miners, you can't buy this stuff with any certainty. All right? It's just, again, throw the baby out with the bathwater. I've said this analogy 1,000 times. It doesn't look great. Silver looks really bad. Silver typically leads, right? It's making new lows at the 200-day. Could it bounce? All these things are potential bounce spots. But is it the best trade? People looking at the GDX, we told about the miners lead metals. Well, miners making new lows, double top. And then you look at the junior miners, which are like the leveraged version of the miners. They made a lower high and making lower lows and below the 200-day. Now, again, are they oversold? Could they bounce? Subject to interpretation. Me personally, if I was short them and had long-term shorts, trading around it, but I'm not feeling too bad about either a bounce or just going to continue lower. AG, again, these names are looking like what? Absolute trash, right? Something's going on here. AEM, talked about it, breaking lows, going below the 200-day. Not bullish, right? Newmont, again, here's another one. The biggest name in the world. It can't even get anywhere close to its January highs. Look at this. This is just ugly. This is just ugly. It has no momentum. I wouldn't trust this. I wouldn't trust it. I would pass. And in pass, I would pass on. Same thing. They all look garbage. Tech, Taiwan Semi. Talked about these blow-off tops that are not going to retest likely. Holding the 20-day, we said it was coming because that's what it typically does. Pulls back to the 20-day at some point. And now can it chop or is it going to flop? Just keep an eye on it. I mean, I personally think, again, these names have gone too parabolic. 60 to $110. I mean, is Taiwan Semi really in that much better condition? I mean, they're literally on the doorstep of World War III. Micron, same thing. Blow off, professional gap, chop below the 20-day. Has a date with what? Probably lower prices. But again, I wouldn't chase these things. AMD, down, 7 straight days? Something crazy. We talked about this blow off. Again, another thing. Again, the leaders are starting to lag again. Something's not right here because the laggards are still lagging. Like gold and some of these other material, they still look like crap. And now the leaders are starting to lag and not look good. I don't know. Fill in the gap. Are you surprised it bounced? No. How high? Good question. That's on you to determine. NVIDIA, we talked about the same thing. Blow off top in 1.382. Insiders are unloading. Institutions are unloading. People know, like, they've priced in their future growth. Now they got to perform. I mean, the stock goes from 120 up to 440 in 6 months, and people are like, oh, I'm going to hold up for 500. It's going to the moon. All right, you're a greedy dumbass then. Intel, that's just the truth. You got to trade around your position. You got to manage it. Sell some covered calls. Take some profits. Whatever. You can't go broke taking profits. You don't get rich until you harvest those gains. They are not real until realized. Intel, same thing. Blow off top, holding the 20-day. Again, there might be some pressure to buy these names near term, but again, I don't trust them. SMH, talked about it trying to go back after the all-time highs. We said it would come back to the 20-day. Here it is. 144, 145 needs to hold. Adobe, again, another name that had a nice little run. Blow off top, 1.382. Now it just looks like Galaga. It's the tip, and at some point, the rest of the shit probably follows down, and you fill this gap. After that, who knows? Apple, if you're following the Discord room, nice work, boys and girls. Keeping an eye on the 187 area. Could you get up to 190? It's always possible. But this thing, I mean, again, Apple went from 125 up to 186. Their business is slowly deteriorating. People are not buying new phones. They cannot afford it. Oh, they say AI on a pair of $4,800 or whatever artificial intelligence goggles. Yeah, the lines are out the door looking to buy this stuff. No, they're not. I mean, again, it's not like it's not the future, but it's pricing in craziness. Same thing with Amazon. They say on Thursday they're getting into some extra AI support stuff. It pops. Just say AI every day and you'll go higher. Well, the company's trading at, again, stupid levels of valuation. Will it hold? CRM, CEO sells a ton of shares, chopping. Really get a lot of faith in AI, guys. Guggenheim, same thing. Pops up, chopping below the 20-day. They're starting to lag. Meta, this one made new highs. This one just boggles my mind that anyone would buy this. Maybe it needs to go after the 300 area. Yeah, I mean, this thing's pricing. It's pricing like Zuckerberg's going to beat Elon in the fight. And point being is that the future is not Meta. It's everything they're into is duplicable and has no barrier to entry. And again, a lot of people don't like their platforms. I know I don't. Microsoft, same thing. Blow off top, professional gap, chopping. Watch the 20-day NDAQ. We've talked about how the NASDAQ exchange volumes are going to die in the future because no one's going to be trading tech like they have for the last 6-7 years. Yeah, it's proven it. Look at this. I'm telling you, the theory is backed up by evidence. The NASDAQ composite index volumes will be dying over time because tech will be in a bubble bursting mechanism where people are not going to be buying this stuff. MicroStrategy, what do we say? Couple day range, getting up into maybe this 330 range. We got into it. Now it's chopping. Obviously, it's waiting for what? What's Bitcoin's next move? Netflix, same thing. Nice little pounce to a old fib, old levels from 2018. Getting stuck up here, waterlogging. Again, I would watch this. Roblox, we've said we like this name for a buyout. I do. But again, I would like it at lower prices. I think they do get bought out. How low can it go? You'll know when you get there. Again, look for the volume, the capitulation action. Tesla, everybody and their mom was screaming 300. We said this bar invalidates that. It's a left-right combo, outside reversal, tweezer bar, whatever you want to call it, pointing lower. Now, again, like yesterday it pops and they said, oh, but it's not dumping right away. All right, well, zoom out. It's a daily chart formation. It's going to take days to play out. All right, material names, letter X. These names should all be leading. Nice little bounce, but they're coming on, or sorry, Nucor, I meant X, but get my picture, coming into resistance. They don't really look that good. Letter X, here's another one, right? US Steel, nice bounce with the market, but again, not looking good. Caterpillar, solid rise off the lows, making lower highs now. Professional gap, looking pretty ugly. Now again, along the way to the lows, it's not a straight line. Keep an eye on it. VALE, another global growth name that people were like, oh, you ought to buy this for the long run down here. Again, got some hype. Coming right back. Arrow, another name we like long term, but again, you can't chase this stuff. Little confusing up here. Little confusing. Again, copper, keep an eye on it. CCJ, I told people, please take profits in the 30s. Look at today's action. Yesterday was a doji sandwich gap down below the 20-day. That is fugly. Again, materials. Like them long term, but not buying them at these prices. CF, same kind of thing. Overdue to bounce. Nice little rally if you played it. Probably going to chop and come down. Let these names just get everyone emotional, go nowhere, believe that they're broken, then you buy them. It's like buying the VIX. Oh, it's all broken. Oh, these ag names are broken. They're not worth it shit. Okay. Mosaic, same thing. Chop, 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 chop. NTR, like these names again. Chop, 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 chop. Let them play out. Just be patient. Alcoa, another global growth name. Aluminum, should be flying. Wrong. I mean, it was at 100. Now it's at 32. Doesn't look like really anyone's buying it down here. And if no one's buying it, that's a problem. I'm telling you, global growth. XLF, we talked about bouncing up to the 33s, maybe the 200-day. You got there. Look at this action. Starting to roll over. The financials lead the markets. If you shorted JP Morgan up in the 143, 144 area, hot fire. Nice work. I think this is going to get absolutely slammed at some point. Morgan Stanley, same thing. It's already started the slam dance. Made a lower high. Watch what happens in the 8180 area. Could get destroyed. Goldman Sachs, we talked about it. They're not immune. Look at this. Starting to come down. KRE, we talked about oversold bounce. Everybody was short, was going to bounce probably into this 41 to 44 range. Got up to what, 44.95. Now look at it. Credit crunch is not over. Now again, could it hold here for a couple days? I mean, yeah, classically. Again, it drops 10%. Can it rally some? Keep that in mind. But again, watch what happens over time, not one day. One day does not define a trend. XBI, same thing. Nice little retest of the highs, lower highs, starting to dump. I mean, again, the evidence is in the evidence. You just tell, I mean, we're interpreting it. Solar, again, we've said solar is a joke. Not that it's not sustainable, but again, if oil and gas prices are coming down and people are struggling to pay their bills, why are they going to be slapping up solar? Governments are cutting their subsidies. Governments are tightening their belts. Again, I think these things priced in the best move. Same thing with, all right, we talked about ENPH. We talked about a gap down, big volume. It could rally and chop around just like it did here. Again, if you shorted up here, hot fire to you. At this point, we said wait for the bounce. You got the bounce. Just watch the levels. It takes out the 152. This could get destroyed. Sedgerton, again, we talked about shorting this in the 310, 315 area. Hot fire. Here you go. Coming down. Again, solar all looks good. Or for the shorts. First solar, we talked about the novice gap at the highs. They're buying some small company. We said this gap will fill. The gap has filled. Now what? Could it chop a little bit? Market holds up? Yeah, I think it's going lower. So watch for pops to short. HYG, like to talk about this corporate debt. Look at this. It is not holding up well. It is not acting well. You would think if the market's making new highs, corporate debt would be getting bought. It'd be safe. Doesn't look too safe to me, does it? Oil, again, USO, leave it alone. Not much really to say here. It's probably chopping in the 60 to 60, I don't know, 5 range. UNG, nice little, again, choppy chop all over the place. Are you surprised? No, again, but this is the thing. What's the upside? If you're trading it, manage it. Can't really, I just don't think it's the best trade out there. But again, I could be wrong. If you got it and you want to roll it, roll the dice. You do what you just define your risk. XOP, we've talked about holding this 114, 115 area many times. It's just dead cat bouncing. It looks like it's going to break at some point. That's my observation. ExxonMobil, if you shorted this up at the 116 to 118 area that we talked about, same thing, bouncing before what? Flopping. People just want to see straight line moves all the time. But notice this. As the market has held up and acted well in May, what have these names done? They have lagged. Somebody's not there picking them up. PXD, same kind of thing. Not picking them up. Occidental, Buffett's just selling calls all over the place, just selling them to everybody, and probably going to get paid a huge check of covered calls, and guess what? It'll rally back at some point. Guy is a genius. Let's end at EQT and Flex LNG. We talked about nice bounce. Watch what happens up here in the 40 range. Flex LNG, the last one. Again, I think we will be an exporter of natural gas over time because Congress is buying all these stocks up. They have a great dividend. I would keep an eye on it. In my eye, personally, let it come to you. All right, if you have any questions, need any help, always reach out. Please hit me up, direct message me. Again, the worst that'll happen is I can't respond quickly. If not, I will try to respond. I appreciate everybody's love and support through the times that we're going through with my family. It is incredibly difficult. Some days are better than others. It is what it is. If you have any questions about real estate, again, real estate is starting to fade. I'm telling you guys, I've been trying to warn you guys, showing you guys what's going on in my market. Denver, hot, been hot for years. Denver should be always telling you what's going to happen because Denver is a place where people are always moving. Well, guess what? The prices are starting to stabilize and drop. That's not good for June, right? Because this is when time people are moving here. What's going to happen in the winter? What's going to happen in the fall, right? Keep an eye out. If you need any help listing a house, buying a house, investment property, I've done this for a long time. I can give you some great insights. All right, talk to you guys and gals later.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, the PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.